Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel SK on the Math Class. In my previous video, we discussed about one case-based question of standard 9 which is related to Heron's formula. Today, in this video, we will learn about the ratio and proportion chapter of standard 6. So, without wasting the time, we discuss about the ratio. It means when we compare any two quantities of the same kind by the process of division, then we will say that we have formed of a ratio of any two numbers. I remember that when we will find out the ratio means, we will take the same kind of number. It means that their unit must be equal. Kilometer, kilometer, meter, meter, or rupees, rupees. The same kind of measurement or same kind of unit we will take when we will find out the ratio. Before going to the ratio, what do you mean by ratio? Ratio means it is one type of division. Okay? Ratio is one type of a division. When we divide anything, we are representing that in our fraction. The fraction is the one type of a ratio. It means fraction, which one we can write in the fractional form, that part or that form we can write in the ratio form. Okay? So first we will discuss about the ratio. So what is ratio? What is ratio? Ratio means when we divide any two numbers. Suppose when we divide two numbers, let A and B, and remember here B is not equal to 0 or in the form of A upon B. It is denoted as, we can say that, or we can denote it as A is to B. A is to B. What do you mean by it? When you divide any two numbers A and B, where B is not equal to 0, in the form of A upon B, it is denoted as A is to B. It means here A upon B is known as A is to B. Okay? A upon B is known as A is to B. It is the fractional part and this one is our ratio. It is A is to B or A upon B, it is your fraction. It is a fraction. And A is to B, it is the ratio. Now what we did here? We divide two numbers. Yet we will take two numbers A and B. Then when we divide these two numbers, in the fractional form, we written it is A upon B, and in ratio, we written here A is to B. This symbol is known as is to. If we put this symbol is known as is to. Is to. It means when we write here A is to B means we will read as what? We will read as A is is to B. A is to B. Suppose we written 5 is to 3. We will read as 5 is to 3. Okay? Clear? This symbol is known as our is to symbol. This symbol is known as is to. 5 is to 3, A is to B. Okay? Then when we discuss about the ratio, we have to learn something. What? Now, we will find out the ratio of the same type of numbers. It means their unit must be equal. Same kind of numbers. It means the unit must be equal. It means, suppose we will find out the ratio between two numbers, kilometer and meter. Here, kilometer and meter, the units are different. First we have to convert either kilometer to meter or meter to kilometer. After that, we will find out the ratio. It means we have to remember that when we will take the ratio means we will take the same kind of numbers, same kind of units. We cannot find out the ratio of rupees to kilometer or meter to liter, days to our hour. But when you can find out the days to hour means we have to convert the days to hour. After that, the same unit will become hour and hour. After that, we will find out the ratio. Otherwise, we cannot find out the ratio. It is one point. Second one, the written part is very important in our ratio. It means here you written that A is to B, and we have to remember that A is to B is not equal to B is to A. A is to B is not equal to B is to A. It means it is very important that in which way we will write the terms. If the terms will be reverse or the terms will be different, then our ratio will be different. Like here, when you divide 5 divided by 2, which number you will get? 2 divided by 5 will not get the same number. These two numbers are not equal. Yes or not? The same process here. A is to B is not equal to B is to A. So, here discuss that A is to B is not equal to B is to A. It means the order of writing is very important. The order A is to B means first which term we written, that term we will write first, then is to symbol, then the next term we will write. Okay? The ratio of 5 and 3. When we say about the ratio of 5 and 3 means 5 is to 3. Okay? If you say that the ratio of 3 and 5, the ratio of 3 and 5 means it will be 3 is to 5. Clear? So, now we discuss about the A and B. What do we mean by A and B here? Here, A and B are known as A is to B. Here, A and B are known as the terms. A and B are known as the terms. The A and B are known as the terms. A and B are known as the terms. Okay? The A here, the first term is known as your antecedent. Okay? A is known as your antecedent. Okay? This A is known as your antecedent. And the second term B is known as consequent. second term B is known as your consequent. Okay, A is known as antecedent and B is known as your consequent. It means here A is to B, it means A, the first term, is known as your antecedent and the second term B is known as your consequent. Clear? Sometimes in your question paper it is written, suppose 8 upon 7. 8 upon 7, write the consequent and antecedent. We have to write the consequent and antecedent. The antecedent, which one? The antecedent is the 8 and consequent is 7. If you will not know about the terms, which term is antecedent and which term is consequent, then what will you write? So it is very important to learn the terms, which one your antecedent and which one your consequent. It means when in fractional form, the numerator is known as antecedent and the denominator is known as your consequent. Clear? So what we discussed until now? First, when we divide any two numbers in the order, then the first number is known as your antecedent and the second number is known as your consequent. And this division we can write in the form of, in the ratio A upon B is known as A is to B. The A and B, they are the two terms and the first term is known as antecedent and the second term is known as your consequent. Clear? Another thing we discuss, what? Now when we find out the ratio of any two quantity, this two quantity must be the same kind. It means their measurement will be equal. Measurement means the unit. The unit must be equal. Okay? So we have to remember one thing here. Then when we will write any number in ratio, we will write any number in the ratio, we will not write any unit there because ratio is a number. Ratio is a number, so it need not require any type of a unit. Okay, so ratio is one type of number, so there is no need of any type of unit there. When you write about the 10, 15, 1 by 2, 0.5, root 2, root 5, we are using any type of unit there. No. In the same way, when we will discuss about the ratio, when we will write any type of ratio, we will not use any unit there. Okay? It means 5 by 10, 5 is to 10 or 5 is to 7 we will write. That means there is no unit. Clear? Then after that we will discuss about the simplest form of ratio. We will write the simplest form of a ratio. So what do you mean simplest form? In your fraction, already you read about that. It means when one fraction is known as, or rational number is known as in its simplest form. It means if there is no common factor other than 1 between the numerator and denominator, then that fraction is known as in your simplest form. Yes or no? It means the fraction is said to be your simplest form, or a rational number is said to be in the simplest form if the highest common factor between the numerator and denominator will be 1. It means except 1 there is no common factor. Except 1 there is no common factor between the numerator and denominator in the rational number, or you can say in the fraction, then that fraction or rational number is known as your simplest form. In the same way, when you discuss about the ratio, if there is no common factor other than 1 between the antecedent and consequent, then that ratio will be known as in the simplest form. Okay? It means simplest form we discuss here. One example right here. Suppose it is 50 is to 30. 50 is to 30. The first we have to convert 50 is to 30 in a fractional form. It means it will be 50 upon 30. And 50 upon 30, here the common number or common factor is 10. So we can write here 50 divided by 10 by or upon 30 divided by 10. So what we get? 5 upon 3. It means 50 is to 30 is known as 5 is to 3. This 5 is to 3 is our simplest form. Okay? The 5 is to 3 is known as the simplest form of the ratio 50 is to 30. Clear? So, in this way, we will find out the simplest form of a ratio. If the ratio given, we have to write the numbers in the simplest form when we will convert them in the ratio. Clear? It is the simplest form part. After that, we will discuss about the equivalent. So, now we discuss about the equivalent ratio. Okay? Equivalent ratio. So we'll discuss about the equivalent ratios. Okay? So what do you mean by equivalent ratio? Equivalent ratio means we already know about the equivalent fraction. Why we are telling again and again about the fraction? Because fraction is the another form of ratio, and the ratio is totally comes from the fraction. So we discuss about the fraction to interlink the ratio. Okay? So what do you mean by equivalent ratio? Sorry, equivalent fraction. Equivalent fraction means when we multiply or divide any non-zero number with its numerator and denominator. After that, which number we will get or which fraction we will get, that one is known as your equivalent fraction. Okay? In the same way here, when we discuss about the ratio, if we multiply or divide any non-zero number with its two terms, means antecedent and consequent. When we multiply any non-zero number, then their value will not change. It means the ratio will be unchanged. Its value will not change. So that type of ratio is known as your equivalent ratio. Okay? Clearly, I'm another time I'm telling you, you listen that one. When we multiply or divide any non-zero number with the numerator and denominator, or you can say the antecedent and consequent, then which fraction or ratio we will get, that is known as your equivalent ratio or fraction. See, first I will take one example of a fraction, then I will take one example of a ratio. See, suppose it is given 12 upon 15. 12 upon 15. We have to write one equivalent fraction. So 12 upon 15, we can write here 12 into 2 upon 15 into 2. It means 24 by 30. 24 upon 30 is the equivalent fraction of 12 upon 15. Or we can say that 12 and 15 has a common factor, it is 3. So we can also convert it 12 divided by 3 upon 15 divided by 3 equal to 4 upon 5. Okay, the 4 upon 5 and 24 upon 30 are the equivalent fraction of 12 upon 15. In the same way, when we will find out the equivalent fraction of ratios, 7:3, 1 ratio. 7:3, 1 ratio, when you find out the equivalent ratio, what we will find out? What we will do? 7 into any number, but that will be non-zero. We will not divide or multiply by any 0. So 7 into 3 is to 3 into 3. It means 21 is to 9 is a equivalent fraction, equivalent ratio of 7:3. Or you can say 7 into 5 is to 3 into 5. It means 5 and 5 are same number, same non-zero number, will multiply with the antecedent and with the constituent. So it will be 35 is to 15. This one is the equivalent fraction of 7:3. So it is known as our equivalent ratio. It means here there is no common factor except 1. It means 7:3 is in its simplest form. So only we have to multiply the equal numbers of same numbers, same non-zero numbers with the two terms to find out the equivalent ratio. If some number will be common with these two terms, then we can divide this common term, common factor with that two terms to find out the equivalent ratio. So in this way, we will find out the equivalent ratio of any given number. Clear? After that, we will discuss about the proportion. Now, we will discuss about the continued proportion. Okay? Continued proportion. Continued proportion. So what do you mean by continued proportion? Continued proportion means a proportion is said to be continued proportion if the second and third term both are equal. Okay? If the second and third term of one proportion are equal, then that proportion is known as your continued proportion. Okay? So, the continued proportion is what? A proportion is said to be continued proportion a proportion is said to be continued proportion if its second term and third terms are equal. Okay? A proportion is said to be in continued proportion, said to be in continuous proportion if its second term and third terms are equal. It means if you take if A, B and C are in continuous proportion, then what will write? The A is to B such as B is to C. It means here B repeated 2 times. It means B and B. First B is for the second term and second B for the third term. Here written the first, second and third term. Second term and third term both are equal. See, here the second term and third term are equal. That's why this type of proportion is known as your continued proportion. It means here total 3 terms are there. 3 different terms are there. A, B and C. But the term B is repeated 2 times. It means the second term and the third term both are equal. That is your B. Example, 4:8 such as 8:16. Okay? 4:8 such as 8:16. It means here the 8 and 8 2 times repeated. It means here 8 is the second term and also 8 is the third term. When the second term and third term repeated twice means for second term and third term both are equal, then it is known as your continued proportion. Okay? If A, B and C are in continued proportion, then what is the rule? So write, if A, B and C are in continued proportion, then what will get the formula is A into C is equal to B into B. It means AC equal to B square. It is the formula. AC equal to B square. It means what? The product of extremes is equal to the square of mean. The product of extremes is equal to the square of mean. It is the formula. Okay? It is the formula. If it is the already written the example, you see here 4:8 such as 8:16. It means product of extreme. Means 4 and 16 we have to multiply. The 4 into 16 is equal to this 2 we have to multiply. Means 8 into 8. The 4 into 16 how much? 64. And 8 into 8 how much? 64. Okay? The 64 and 64 both are equal. Yes or no? So 4:8, 8 is to such as 8:16 are in your proportion. And which proportion? In the continued proportion. Okay? Next, in this continued proportion, our C is known as our third proportional. C is known as your third proportional and B is known as your mean proportional. Okay. What to write here? Okay. So when A, B and C are in continued proportion, then then B is known as mean proportional. B is known as your mean proportional. And the C here, C is known as your third proportional. C is known as third proportional. Okay, C is known as your third proportional. Okay, so when A, B and C are in the continued proportion, then B is known as mean proportional and C is known as our third proportional. Clear? So this is about the continued proportion and proportion. The first what we discuss here, the proportion means when the proportion means one statement or sentence where two ratios must be equal. Then we can say that is in a proportion. It means when two ratios are equal, then they are known as your proportion. Okay, the proportion means different types of proportion are there. One proportion where we using the four terms and four different terms. A is to B such as C is to D. Okay, here to find out the proportion, the formula is the product of extreme is equal to the product of mean. Next type of proportion will come here, a continued proportion. Continued proportion means here three different terms are there, but all total four terms are there. Where second term and third term, these two terms are repeated, or the second term and third term both are equal. Then this type of proportion is known as your continued proportion. So in the continued proportion, which term is repeated or which term are equal, that term is known as your mean proportional. And who is the third? The term C. Here written A, B, C means C is the third term. It is known as your third proportional. Okay? So here we discuss about the ratio and proportion. The basic things we will clear here. What is called ratio? What will be? It's a unit, or we will not write a unit. What is called proportion? What is the formula? To know the four terms or three terms are in proportional or not, are in proportion or not. We have to know by applying the formula. That formula we discuss here. So in all, the basic things, the fundamental things of ratio and proportion, in this video we discuss. Okay? In the upcoming video, in the next video, we will discuss about some questions related to ratio and proportion. It is the basic things we discuss here. The next video I will bring it very soon, where we discuss about some questions related to the ratio and proportion. Clear, students? I hope this new chapter, these things, it will be very helpful for you. It is upcoming days. You will read about the ratio and proportion chapter. Okay? Then I hope when you see the video, it will clear all your doubts. Thank you all for watching my video till end.